Do you remember being a kid? Do you remember what it was like to dream? Not the garbage dreams you have now. I hope I get a raise. Or I wish I could afford that car. I mean real dreams. Big ones. The kind that kept you up at night. Not because you were worried, but because you were excited. Remember that? You were invincible back then. You didn't know limits. You didn't know fear. You didn't know this watered-down version of yourself that, unfortunately, I'm seeing now. Back then, you didn't care what anyone thought. You didn't think about whether your dreams were practical, or profitable, or realistic. You just dreamed, because dreaming was what made life worth living. Think back to when you were 7, 8, 9 years old. What did you want to be? A firefighter? An astronaut? Maybe you wanted to be an artist or a musician, or a scientist who invented something that changed the world. Do you remember running around the yard, pretending you were on a rocket ship blasting off to Mars, or saving the world from some imaginary threat? Back then, everything felt possible, didn't it? You didn't know how to quit because the word didn't even exist for you. Now look at yourself. Really look. Are you even a shadow of that kid anymore? Or are you something else entirely? Something smaller, something weaker. You've got a pulse, sure, but do you have a heart? Because back then your heart was on fire. It didn't matter that the world was big, scary, and complicated. You wanted to conquer it anyway. You didn't just want to live. You wanted to matter. You wanted to stand out, to be someone, not this nobody you've let yourself become. I'm not saying this to be nice, because let's be honest, you don't deserve nice. You deserve the truth. And the truth is that somewhere along the line, you killed that kid. You didn't mean to, of course. Nobody does. But you did it anyway. Maybe it started when you were told to grow up, to be realistic. Maybe it was when someone laughed at you for dreaming too big, or when the first person told you, you can't do that. And instead of telling them to screw off, you listened. You let their doubt seep into your bones, until one day you woke up, and that fire you had as a kid was cold ash. But let me ask you this. When did you decide to settle? When did you decide that the dreams you had as a kid weren't worth chasing anymore? Or did you even decide at all? Did you just let it happen? Did you let the weight of the world crush you into the ground without ever fighting back? When you were a kid, the world was this enormous, magical place full of possibilities. Now it's just something you survive, one day at a time. And for what? So you can keep living this half-life. Going through the motions. Pretending like you're okay? You're not okay. You're miserable. And you know it. But you weren't always this way. I want you to think about that kid again. The one who used to dream. That kid is still in there, somewhere. Buried under all the excuses and compromises and self-doubt. You can pretend you don't hear him, but you do. He's screaming at you every single day, asking why you gave up on him. Asking why you settled for this pathetic excuse for a life. And that's what it is, pathetic. You want me to sugarcoat it? I won't. You're better than this. Or at least you were. Right now, you're nothing but a watered-down version of the person you were supposed to become. And the worst part is, you know it. You feel it every time you wake up and force yourself out of bed. You feel it every time you go to that job you hate, surrounded by people you don't respect, doing work that doesn't mean a damn thing to you. Let me tell you what's going to happen if you keep this up. 10 years from now, you're going to look back on your life, and all you'll see is wasted time. You'll see a long, empty road, littered with missed opportunities and half-assed attempts. You'll see the dreams you used to have lying there on the side of the road, abandoned and forgotten. And you'll hate yourself for it. But here's the real kicker. You'll pretend it's not your fault. You'll blame the economy, or your boss, or your family, or your circumstances. You'll say, I didn't have a choice. But you did. You always did. You just didn't have the guts to make it. You want to know what's waiting for you if you don't change? I'll tell you. It's a life of quiet desperation. You'll keep waking up to the same alarm clock, trudging through the same routine, and going to bed with the same emptiness gnawing at your soul. You'll keep scrolling through your phone, envying people who actually had the courage to chase their dreams, and telling yourself they just got lucky. But luck has nothing to do with it. Luck didn't get Elon Musk to where he is. Luck didn't write the Harry Potter series for J.K. Rowling. Luck didn't make Michael Jordan the greatest basketball player of all time. You know what did? Work, risk, sacrifice, the willingness to fail, and the determination to get back up again. And here's the truth you don't want to admit. You could have that too. You could have everything you've ever wanted, but you won't, not if you keep sitting here, wasting your life on things that don't matter. You were born with the same potential as anyone else, the same 24 hours in a day, the same ability to learn, to grow, to fight. The only difference between you and the people you admire is that they decided their dreams were worth the pain. And you decided they weren't. But here's the thing, it's not too late. Not yet. That kid who used to dream is still in there. waiting for you to wake up and remember who you are. And when you do, when you finally decide to stop being a coward and start living, you're going to be unstoppable. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done. You're going to fail. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to want to quit 1,000 times. But every time you get back up, you're going to get stronger. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is a step forward if you let it be. So stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, because it's never going to come. Stop pretending you're okay with the life you have, when you know damn well you're not. Get up right now and start. I don't care how messy it is. I don't care if you have no idea what you're doing. Just start. Because if you don't, you're going to spend the rest of your life wishing you had. And let me tell you, regret is the heaviest weight you'll ever carry. You're not a failure. You're not ordinary. You're not like everyone else. You're better than that. You're unique, you're capable, and you're powerful. You just have to remember it. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep wasting your life? Or are you going to get up and fight for the life you actually want? The choice is yours. But remember this, every second you wait is a second you'll never get back. Time doesn't care about your excuses. It's going to keep moving, whether you do or not. Now go, prove me wrong. Prove yourself wrong. Prove it to that kid inside of you. Prove that he wasn't dreaming for nothing. Go. And don't stop until you get there.